What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Brent Venables post-press conference analysis is what we're going to call this thing. Ryan Chapman, Randall Sweet. I'm John Hoover. We're going to try and break down the Brent Venables press conference every Tuesday afternoon here at the Stadium Club. It just happened right over there, across the way over there. The stadium's over there. It's looking good. They're ready for kickoff on Saturday, 11 a.m. against Arkansas State. Looking forward to this game just because it's the season opener. We got to talk to Brent Venables today. We talked to the coordinators yesterday, Jeff Lebby and Ted Roof. We talked to a bunch of players yesterday, and we're going to talk to a bunch more tonight. We're going to try and bring it to you at AllSooners. Ryan, let's start with what was some of the things that were talked about today. We'll get to quarterbacks in just a minute, but I want to ask you about the running back situation. Guys, I have in my hand a depth chart for the 2023 season opener. Should be fun to analyze this thing, which we've already done the heck out of at AllSooners if you guys have seen the story we posted there this morning. Let's do it. Running backs. Who? Marcus Major. What?
Tawee Walker is the what, I think.
The walk-on is the start, a co-starter.
Coming off the Cheez-It Bowl, I think everybody saw a 100-yard performance, a 100-yard plus performance from Javonte Barnes, a 100-yard performance on the dot from Gavin Sawchuk, and said, running back is solved. No Eric Gray, no issue. Remember Marcus Major? A big storyline all offseason long has been health. If he's available, they love him. Guess what? He's a starter. What we didn't expect was, as Hoove confirmed, still a walk-on, Tawee Walker. Brent Venables talked about that decision and essentially said, look, a lot of this stuff's going to rage on into the season, but for Walker, the best ability is availability. That was what Brent Venables had to say. And so you've got Marcus Major, Tawee Walker. We know that Javonte Barnes had a cleanup procedure on his foot during the spring. Gavin Sawchuk has been a little limited at times. So it feels like that is rewarding Tawee Walker and Marcus Major for their hard work, dedication, all that. But B, those two guys have been healthy all throughout fall camp and should still be plenty of opportunity for Javonte Barnes and Gavin Sawchuk to get a ton of carries. Personally, I'm still expecting Javonte Barnes to lead the team in carries. But week one, snap one, your co-starters, Marcus Major and Tawee Walker.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool development in this preseason. Another one has been, what in the world are they going to do with Jackson Arnold? How do you play a true freshman, a five-star kid, when you've got a returning starter back who's one of the leading passers in NCAA, certainly active quarterbacks history? Dillon Gabriel is the starting quarterback. Oklahoma's going to blow some people out this year. Does that mean Jackson Arnold's going to get mop-up duty? How much does that get you prepared for 2024 when you're going to be in the SEC? This is kind of an emergency situation. You've got to get Jackson Arnold some snaps. Asked Jeff Lebby about it yesterday. Asked Brent Venables about it today, Randall.
Yeah, I mean, and Brent Venables honestly didn't really give us too much of a straight answer about, playing Jackson Arnold, but instead he took that time to kind of praise Dillon Gabriel and say that he thought that Dillon Gabriel was going to be dominant and that he really thought that he was poised for a good season. But, in that he also mentioned that the staff knows that Dillon Gabriel won't be back next year, which is interesting. He still has 1 year of eligibility remaining, so, that might have just been Brent talking. But like Hoove mentioned, the Sooners are really going to need to get Jackson Arnold some meaningful snaps this year, so he's not just playing, like you said, mop-up duty. Obviously, your mentality is completely different when you enter the game, and you're in a high-pressure scenario versus when you enter the game and the game's already won. So getting Jackson Arnold those key snaps is going to be really important. Jeff Lebby kind of talked about it a little more yesterday, saying that they have some packages and things like that they would plan on for Jackson Arnold. But Brent today didn't really highlight any of that at all. Kind of took the time to more focus on Dillon Gabriel, his success, and that he expects him to have a great year this season.
We're going to dive into the whole defense in just a minute, but I want to continue with Randall about the cornerbacks. The cornerback situation has apparently solved itself and will continue to solve itself over the next few months, guys. Gentry Williams is the starter. Per the depth chart, he's the starter. But you've got some guys, including a true freshman, Josiah Wagner, that's the backup to Woody Washington. There's some candidates on the other side of the field, but your starting corners right now are Gentry and Woody.
Yeah, and I mean, Josiah Wagner, Gentry Williams, these are guys that we heard about multiple times through the spring, through fall camp, that they were, really performing well. Josiah Wagner especially. I mean, it felt like every time we talked to someone on defense or a defensive coach, they were, praising the young guys when we asked which young guys had been performing well. It seems like Josiah Wagner's name came up like every single time. This is a guy who was, when I talked to him at OU Media Day, he said that he felt like he was severely underrated coming out of high school. And it seems like so far that's really proven proven to be true. He's higher up on the depth chart than Makari Vickers, who's another freshman cornerback that was actually rated higher in recruiting rankings than Josiah Wagner. And so, I think that's really a testament to his hard work. He fits with the staff really well. And I think he's definitely going to see some snaps this year. Woody Washington is obviously the most experienced guy, and Brent Venables really talked about how much of a leader he'd been in that young cornerback group. Like we mentioned, Kendall Dolby, who's in his first year with the program. Gentry Williams is starting on the other side. He's a true sophomore, I believe. So these are younger guys that Brent Venables has, mentioned Woody Washington taking under his wing, being a leader. And again, back to OU Media Day, Ted Roof, Josiah Wagner, they both also echoed that sentiment that Woody Washington had been a great leader this offseason, this fall. And so I think that in addition to his play on the field, we're going to really see him help these younger corners grow. And I think that could be honestly a pretty strong position this year if Gentry Williams lives up to the potential, if Josiah Wagner is what he's kind of hyped up to be, if Kendall Dolby, same thing with him, if he's what he's hyped up to be, then that's 4 guys, including those 3 and Woody, that you feel pretty good about if everything coming out of camp comes to fruition.
Slightly forgotten fact, Gentry Williams was Brent Venables' first official recruit. The guy had committed to OU the day after Brent Venables arrived, or at least there was some tie-in there where Brent raced over to Tulsa to visit with him. And so that was an interesting time there at Booker T. Washington High School. I'll tell you this, Makari Vickers or Kendall Dolby are the backups to Gentry Williams, and Josiah Wagner or Kenai Walker are the backups to Woody Washington. So they're running some young guys in there. I don't think they're going to be afraid of that. And Ryan, that's just another evidence, I think, when you talk about the defensive backs, the substitutions that's going to take place, just more evidence that Brent Venables is, as you said before we started recording, he's all in on this defense.
Yeah, it's been a talking point throughout the entire offseason. What was your self-scout? What did you learn? And today, Brent Venables seemed a little frustrated, might not be the right word, but I think the fan base is ready for kickoff so that you can just see it in action. I think Brent Venables is tired of asking questions and is ready to prove that there's going to be some defensive growth. But coming in as defensive coordinator his entire career, Brent Venables said that he's going to be, quote, completely involved defensively. He is 100% going to be the leader of this defense. And he said not that they need that, but that's what he knows. That's what got him here. And it seems like you and I talked about it all last season, questioning how far had Brent Venables spread himself as someone that is such a high attention to detail. Was he trying to bring that level of attention to detail to every aspect of the program? Where did he delegate or not? It sounds like that Brent Venables is, I'm a defensive guy, I'm all in with the defense. That's kind of his mentality headed into this year. And if you ask a lot of the game management stuff, he believes that improvement on defense will lead to improved game management. So Brent Venables, there is no question. I don't know if that classifies him as a CEO or more of a hands-on guy as a head coach, but he definitely seemed more confident in himself and what is going to happen on game days, knowing what is asked of him from top to bottom as the head coach, as opposed to the defensive coordinator where he had been for decades.
Year 2 in the Brent Venables era kicks off on Saturday, 11 a.m. Who's got the game? ESPN? ESPN.
And it's the F team on commentary.
Yes, we've looked into that. It's going to be fun because, as I said, it's going to be a season opener. This place is going to be crawling with people. There's going to be tailgates everywhere. The smoke is going to fill the air from the barbecue and the brisket, and I can't wait. It's one of my favorite days of the year is opening day, college football season. Week 1, not week 0. Week 1. Week 0 doesn't count. We'll be there. We've got, we think, 3 for sure, maybe 4 people on site, boots on the ground, here at Memorial Stadium for you guys here at AllSooners. Keep it locked in as we bring you content throughout the rest of this week and, hey, in the future. That's what we do at AllSooners.